We're in the endgame of Jujutsu Kaisen, and we're seeing a lot of growth for our main cast, especially Yuji, and while he's the main protagonist, he won't be the strongest character at the end of the series. Megumi is the one who will be, without a doubt, the strongest by the end of Jujutsu Kaisen. Sit back, relax, and let me explain why. Yuji is the main character of the series. In the beginning, he didn't have any cursed technique. All he had was tremendous physical power, and he used his cursed energy to boost his physical strength. However, Yuji was an extremely talented fighter. While most sorcerers can't land one black flash, Yuji was so in tune with his body and cursed energy that the first time he landed one, he broke the record for the most consecutive black flashes landed in one fight. On top of that, Yuji now not only has a cursed technique, he has two. After consuming the death painting wombs 4 through 9, Yuji now can use piercing blood. He also can use reverse curse technique and new shadow style, simple domain. On top of that, after landing 7 consecutive black flashes on Sukuna, Yuji now has awakened and he can use Shrine, Sukuna's cursed technique. And don't forget, all of this development is just in a couple of months. If Yuji had the time after the fight against Sukuna to train and grow, he would be the strongest character. I mean, while he has 2 cursed techniques and he can use reverse cursed technique, he is still far from mastering any of them. So with little mastery over piercing blood, shrine, and reverse cursed technique, he is able to bring the fight to Sukuna. Even Sukuna is getting irritated by Yuji's surprising strength and growth. However, Yuji will die by the end of the series. Now, you might say that Yuji is the main character, so he won't die, and you would be correct if we were talking about another series. Gege Akutami himself said that he doesn't care who he ends up killing off as long as it helps make the story interesting. Furthermore, Gege was ready to kill Yuji at the start of the series and make Megumi the main character. On top of that, if you remember, just before Yuji's grandfather's death, he tells Yuji to not be like him. Yuji needs to make sure that he is surrounded by friends who love him when he dies. Yuji has accepted his death from the moment he agreed to Gojo's plan. At the start of the series, Yuji received a death sentence after swallowing Sukuna finger. However, Gojo suggested that the death sentence would be applied after Yuji consumes all of Sukuna's fingers, and Yuji agreed to this. And I know that now we've figured out that Gojo probably hid one of Sukuna's fingers to prolong Yuji's sentence indefinitely, but Yuji doesn't know this. Yuji has accepted the fact that he will die, and his plan is to save as many people as he can while he is alive. I mean, Naruto wanted to be the Hokage, Luffy wants to be the king of the pirates, but Yuji on the other hand wants to help as many people as he could before he dies. And the only way for our main protagonist to reach his goal is to die after saving everyone at the end. Now, the next person we should talk about is Uta. He is one of only 4 special grade sorcerers recognized by Jujutsu High. During the 2017 Goodwill event, Uta completely dominated all of the Kyoto Jujutsu High competitors, including Aoi Todo. On top of that, during the night parade of 100 demons, Uta was able to take out Suguru Geto without any help. Now, Geto wasn't at his full power at the time because he released more than 4,000 curses to distract the other sorcerers so he could pursue Uta. However, the same can be said about Uta at the time, because after that, Uta goes overseas to train and become even stronger. Satoru forced Geto's comrade, Miguel, to train Uta. Miguel mentored Uta overseas while they searched for the Black Rope. By the time he returned to Tokyo following the Shibuya incident, Uta was able to dispatch large cursed spirits without much effort. He displayed the full extent of his powers during the culling game, where Uta was matched up against some of the strongest players the Deadly Battle Royal had to offer. He effortlessly dispatched Dhruv Lakdawala, an incarnated sorcerer who once conquered Japan, single-handedly shattering the 4-way deadlock in the Sendai colony. Uta then takes on Kurorushi, Takako Uro, and Ryu at the same time. And he did all of this while taking into consideration the safety of the civilians he was protecting nearby. Uta is smart. He has immense amounts of cursed energy. His innate curse technique copy allows him to copy other sorcerers' techniques, and he can use reverse curse technique and domain expansion, but he couldn't single-handedly defeat Sukuna. Yuta is extremely strong, but he still has a long way to go to become the strongest. Remember that Sukuna fought Yuta without using the 10 shadows, and if he did the same against Gojo, he would certainly have lost the fight. What I'm saying is, Yuta had the time to train and grow stronger. However, he wasn't even close to defeating Sukuna, who was nowhere near his full power. I believe that Yuta still has room to grow even stronger, but he won't be the strongest. Now, before we talk about Megumi, I think it's important to talk about Maki and Hikari. Both of them are very strong, but I think that we all agree that they are not the strongest. Maki has always possessed exceptional physical prowess in exchange for her lack of cursed energy. While not as superhuman as Yuji Itadori, she possessed peak human capabilities comparable to sorcerers who constantly train in cursed energy reinforcement. Maki's strength allowed her to work effectively as a sorcerer by wielding cursed tools, despite not having enough cursed energy to be technically considered one. The minor amount of cursed energy Maki possessed was holding back her heavenly restriction. However, with Mai's sacrifice, she took all the cursed energy between them, making Maki only the second known person to have escaped cursed energy completely after Toji. In exchange for escaping from cursed energy completely, Maki was granted a body of steel with capabilities even beyond that of Yuji. Her prowess is now comparable to Toji's, especially after learning to use her body's capabilities to the fullest. Not only does she possess superhuman strength and speed, but Maki can see inorganic matter and grab hold of normally imperceivable changes in air density and temperature. Maki can easily take on special grade curses, but she doesn't stand any chance against someone like Gojo or Sukuna, and that's why I consider her one of the strongest characters of Jujutsu Kaisen, but she is not the strongest, and I think that Hikari falls into the same category as Maki. Hikari's curse technique is just broken. Hikari is widely recognized as one of the most powerful students at Tokyo Jujutsu High. Satoru Gojo believes that Hikari has the potential to rival his power one day. Hikari is basically immortal when he fights, but he doesn't have strong offensive abilities comparable to Gojo's Purple or Sukuna's Malevolent Shrine. After analyzing all of the previous characters, we now have to talk about Megumi Fushiguro. This is the person who will be the strongest sorcerer at the end of Jujutsu Kaisen. Megumi inherited the prized 10 Shadows technique of the Zenin clan. He is even the head of the Zenin clan. Satoru believes that Megumi could become as strong as he is, and has stated he likely possesses even more skill and potential than Yuji. Even Sukuna noticed Megumi's raw talent and unlimited potential. If you remember at the start of the series when Megumi, Nobara, and Yuji faced the special grade curse, Megumi avoided fighting and retreated. Sukuna then takes over and absolutely destroys the special grade curse. He then asks Megumi why didn't he fight the special grade curse. This means that Megumi had the potential and ability to fight and win against that curse. Sukuna was impressed with Megumi's abilities, and that is why he protected him during the Shibuya incident. Sukuna then switched from Yuji's body to Megumi's. Sukuna couldn't take control over Yuji's body because it was special, and now we know this is because Yuji is the son of the reincarnated soul of Sukuna's twin brother. However, Sukuna could have chosen any other person to switch to. He deliberately took over Megumi's body, knowing that he would have access to the 10 Shadows technique and Maharaga. And on top of the 10 Shadows technique, Megumi will inherit all of Sukuna's techniques, which will make him without a doubt the strongest character of Jujutsu Kaisen. In chapter 258, Kusakabe explains the speed of Yuji's growth as a sorcerer has been tremendous, and this is because Sukuna operated his technique in Yuji's body. If you do certain movements over and over again, it will become muscle memory. This means that Yuji's body remembers using extreme special grade Jujutsu, and this is why Yuji now can use Shrine, which is Sukuna's cursed technique, and our heroes even use this fact to train and prepare for the fight against Sukuna, because UI is able to switch souls, so Yuji switched with Kusakabe and Yuta to learn new Shadow style, simple domain, and reverse cursed technique. Now, if you add up the time Sukuna took over and fought with it, you would find that it surpasses by a lot the total time he took over Yuji's body and fought with it. On top of that, Sukuna fought Gojo in Megumi's body. It's without a doubt that Megumi will be able to use all of Sukuna's techniques. And think about it, Megumi had the 10 Shadows technique, a technique that if perfected properly can rival Gojo himself. He has Chimera Shadow Garden, his domain expansion, and he is an expert weapon specialist. Megumi was trained by Maki, the best cursed tool user at Jujutsu High, and after Sukuna is defeated, he will be able to use reverse curse technique. On top of that, he will use cleave and dismantle, furnace, and as if all of this isn't enough, he can use Malevolent Shrine, Sukuna's domain expansion. This is why I'm saying that Megumi will be the strongest character at the end of Jujutsu Kaisen, and if you disagree, I really would like to see who do you think will surpass Megumi and be the strongest.